Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome. Pleasure to have you. Thanks for coming. We'll get started here shortly. We're waiting for a few more speakers to join us, but once we get them, we'll get the show on the road. What's going on, everybody? Horizon, how you doing?
Hey everyone. How are you doing, guys? I'm all good. Pleasure to be here and excited to hear what everyone's got to say today.
Hey, what's up, Artem? And you are from Asset Link, right?
Yeah, that's correct. I'm a BDM over at AssetLink. We're doing real estate tokenization and far more, but I'll get into more details as we go along.
Amazing. Nice to have you, and pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure as well. Just to double check, do you hear me all right? Is there no like background noises or nothing like that?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Perfect.
Nice. Welcome everybody. Horizon, what's going on, man? How you doing? Long time no see.
Hey Eric, good to see you again. I'm Stanton. I'm speaking for Horizon today.
Okay, awesome. You said this is Stanton. I'm sorry,
Sorry, say it
brother.
again. I just disconnected for like 2 seconds.
Oh, okay. No, for some reason I thought the sound was coming from the Horizon account, and I wasn't sure. But you'll be speaking on behalf of Horizon. That sounds good.
Correct. Yep. Thank you.
Killer, man, killer. And Polly, what's up?
What's up? How are you? How are you, mate? I hope that today is gonna be also an insightful conversation. Pleasure to meet some familiar faces, familiar brand names. Actually, I'm not from any of company that tokenize any assets directly, but I work with a lot of them, and I have some expertise in that processes as well. But yeah, I will talk about it later. Pleasure to be here as well.
Nice. Well, pleasure to have you, and again, and can't wait to hear the information that you have to bring. You always have some awesome info. Influx, what's going on?
Yeah. Hey, everybody. I feel like the last 24 hours never happened. Like we're still having the yesterday's conversation, assuming all the faces we're having here. We're also not directly involved as a market maker with RWAs, but we have a bunch of real world asset clients, and I interviewed some of them, so I may have some insights.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, the information you brought yesterday about the market making was just killer. So I'm excited to hear what you got to bring with the RWA. RWA is such a massive sector of growth right now. So that's why we're having it today, and I'm excited to talk to you guys about it. And I think we have everybody. We probably don't see Horizon, Mids Capital, Rewards Bunny. Okay, we're waiting for Rewards Bunny. But we'll get this show moving, and talk about the good stuff, and whenever they come, they can just jump up. So thanks so much, everybody, for coming. Today, we're going to talk about tokenizing real world assets. All the opportunities and challenges that come with it. If anybody hasn't done any research into this sector, it's massive. There's a lot of things going on, and these are the companies that we brought here today. They're going to talk about what's going on in the background and what's being built. And of course, if there's any alpha or any good information that you guys can bring, that'd be awesome. But my name is Eric. We launched the Collab Hub. The Collab Hub is how we brought all the speakers here today. Is you can go to the website, sign up for free, and find any space that you would like, and then we set you up. And we're all about organic marketing, so that's what this is. And so, without further ado, I'd like to get to know a little bit about each company and who's behind the company. So, Horizon, Stanton, if you want to start, that'd be great.
Thank you very much, Eric. So my name is Stanton. I'm tech background, and I've been with Horizon since 2019. So we are a project that focuses on building a decentralized derivatives trading and liquidity protocol. The easy way to understand that is we are doing synthetic assets where we're it's not exactly tokenization the way that everyone thinks about it, but it is a secondary form of tokenization where we are mapping one-to-one with real world assets like gold and silver pricing, stocks and equities. Basically, anything that's real world with a price feed, we can create in crypto and make it available to trade on without moving money back into fiat. So we're focused right now on a futures platform with margin. So that's coming out. We're in the final testing phases. It's coming out next month, hopefully. But yeah, that's essentially Horizon Protocol, where we make it possible to trade real world assets in crypto.
Ooh, nice. That's awesome. Can't wait to get into that more. Thanks, Stanton. And next, Artem from Asset Link. Please, brother.
Yes, thank you for the introduction. Hello, everyone. I'm speaking today for Asset Link. My name is Artem. I'm a BDM over there for quite a long time now. Basically, what we're doing is tokenization of real world assets. To start off with, we decided to focus on real estate because we thought this would be the hottest and the most interesting kind of asset for everyone, really, because this is what everyone wants, something real on chain, and real estate asset kind of makes sense to us. We plan to go further into other assets as we go on. Right now, we're developing the platform. We had the token pre-sale. I believe there is a few tokens left for grab because we already collected the required amount that we needed. So there is still some tokens left for you to grab if anyone wants to get involved. We are planning to be listed on exchanges quite soon. I can't tell you the exact date because it's a bit of a private info for now, but it will be sooner than you think. And then going live and the actual platform going live, we hope to also be in a few months, but not 100% sure on the exact date as we cannot disclose that yet. But I think something that we're doing is not done by anyone on the scale that we're doing it on, because we're doing it worldwide. I've been to Dubai not too long ago. We're talking to some investors and partners there. Currently, I'm in North Cyprus. I also have a few meetings planned this week to meet some real estate agencies and real estate developers to build it in our platform. So there's a lot going on behind the scenes. So if you want to get involved, please do. And I advise you to be honest, because what we're doing is going to change the future.
Woo! All right, all right, all right. Didn't expect that. Definitely am going to check that out. Perfect timing to have you guys on. I'm excited to hear about that. Thanks for that introduction, and pleasure to have you, Artem, and Asset Link. Next, Influx, Farhad. I believe that's you, man.
Yeah, as always, my founders are quite busy, so I'm responsible for all sorts of communications at Influx. And as I quickly said, we are a market maker. Our approach kind of resonates pretty well with RWAs and otherwise value-driven verticals in crypto because we kind of like providing value upfront and making commitment in a way. So that mostly makes sense working with long-term builders, which I believe RWA protocols are. Yeah, and like we're having a bunch of RWA clients, we're having some conversations, helping with them with marketing sometimes. Yeah, that's how we are involved with whole real-world asset tokenization.
Nice. Well, love having you, man. Thanks for that. Pleasure to have you again. And Polly from Mids Capital. What's up?
Yeah. Sam, as for the influx, I'm kind of not directly connected to tokenizing real world assets, but still, I'm here speaking on behalf of Mids Capital. And it's not just market making, we are kind of liquidity architects. So, yeah, we build the foundation for your token success. And but there's what sets apart. Like, we committed to ethical and sustainable growth, no pump and dump schemes, no shady tactics. We believe in building lasting value for our clients and the crypto ecosystem as a whole. And I try to connect each project that is somehow connected to me with all my partners because I want to build this in that future. And the real world assets right now hot topic, and I think this is another one step further for building that decent future, because all we here for value, and I think that tokenizing RWAs is something that actually can bring it. So yeah.
Oh yeah, I agree with that. Thank you very much, Polly, for that intro, and pleasure to have you again. Love your info. And we have one request, Mr. X. Are you from Rewards Bunny, or do you have a question? We're going to bring you up, and we're going to find out. I'm not sure which one it is. So, pleasure to have you guys. And while we bring Mr. X up, we'll just wait for him to jump up here. And I believe that's a bunny in the background, so I think that he's from Rewards Bunny. But we'll wait and see. All right. Well, I don't have that long of attention span to wait, so I'm going to ask the first question. And Mr. X, if you just want to jump in and add your info as we go along, that'd be great. Okay. Excellent. Great. So first off, asset tokenization, real world assets. We're bridging the gap from Web3 to Web2. That's what we're doing. And the first question that I have for you guys, and if you want to raise your hand and get right into it, and if you want to, Mr. X is up here. Mr. X, what's up, brother? Welcome.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. I suppose you're from Rewards Bunny.
My question is partnership and collaboration is very important for any crypto project. Who are your partners and that can your users benefit from their partnership?
Got you. Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. X. I appreciate the question. We're going to remove you from the speakers for now. Thank you so much, brother. Okay, awesome. Okay, sorry about that, guys. And we'll get to your question here in a second, Mr. X. Thank you so much for the question. We'll get to those here in a moment. And if you guys could hold your questions for a little bit after the space, or not after the space, but towards the end, that'd be great. Thank you so much. So my question to you guys is, and if you guys just want to raise your hand or jump up here, whatever you'd like, how would you describe asset tokenization to someone new to the concept? And what are the primary advantages for this? Polly, please.
Yeah, I think that I can start with the basic concepts, and other guys, I think that will just strengthen my position. So I always try to explain that process is like, imagine you have a physical asset like a painting or a property. Now imagine you could break the asset into tiny digital pieces like pixels and represent each piece with a unique digital token. That's the essence of asset tokenization. These tokens, called asset tokens, live on blockchain and secure and transparent digital ledger, and they represent ownership of part of the underlying asset. Think of it like owning a share in a company, but instead of a company, it's a physical asset. What makes this so exciting, I guess? Well, first, it unlocks fractional ownership. You no longer need to buy the whole painting, you can buy just a piece. Secondly, it makes trading and transfer much easier and faster. You can forget paperwork and long wait times. So transactions are completed instantly and securely on the blockchain. Third, it opens up new possibilities for liquidity and investment. And I think we'll talk more about this later on this episode. So you can buy and sell asset tokens on the digital marketplaces, making it easier to access and diversify your investments. So asset tokenization can help you unlock value in traditionally liquid assets, making them more accessible to a wider range of investors. That's my point of view.
Nice. Accessibility is everything. Artem, please.
Yes, I agree with everything that was just said. It was a good way to describe everything, really. I would only get to add one advantage, which is security, and security in terms of yourself, not just the whole ecosystem. What I'm trying to say is when you're coming in, especially with a big amount of money, an issue with some places in the world is not the fact where the money is coming from, but who you are as a person. And then a certain person could be sanctioned and could not be allowed access to a certain asset. Whereas with tokenization, we allow freedom in that sense, where you can get access to anything that you like, regardless of your background and where you come from, which I think is a great thing that tokenization brings to us.
I'll add some. I'll add something first. Sorry, Influx. We went on the same time, but for asset tokenization, I think another simple way to kind of describe it in our context right now is that it's the act of putting something in the real world onto the blockchain. So I think Asset Link is probably one of the best examples. It's a real world product, which is real estate. It's not connected to the blockchain in any way by itself, but the act of asset tokenization is to bring it virtually into the blockchain so it's trackable. Another thing that I like to make an example of is anything that could potentially have double counting. So I also work in sustainability, and carbon credits is one of the worst things in the world right now because of its non-transparency, and you can easily double count if you don't have something that is easily trackable, um, like the blockchain. Carbon credits are not going to have as much power because I could buy the credits, use it in a PR statement, and then sell it to someone else, and no one would know whether or not it's been used. So the which leads me to the primary advantages. The primary advantages of putting something on the blockchain is it's built in, it's a built-in security and trust layer where certain things can and cannot be done, and you don't need another party to be the verifier in the middle. So lawyers doing escrow, all those fees, they go into a smart contract instead, makes it significantly easier. I do want to say that I'm not as optimistic as Artem in terms of having this be fully non KYC in the future because with real world assets, we are working with real world governments, and a lot of these are mandated, like they're controlled by governments in some way because it's on. I don't know. It's a real world asset. So I think that if we need to be if we want to be really successful, at some point we will have to be working with governments on figuring out how to integrate the real world assets onto the blockchain where both parties are happy.
Should I go?
Oh, please, by all means, brother.
Yeah, Stanton made a nice point, a great point. Also, others. I think the tokenization part of things is relatively simple. Just creating them as tokens, right? Like making them available within Web3. But that actually occurs in different ways. Like we have some, like you said, something along lines Web3, closing the gap between Web2 and Web3, which triggered me. Uh, we have some companies that I like to say are doing Web2 inside of Web3 in the context of RWAs. Like what that means is they are not actually creating tokens on chain for real world assets. What they're doing is just giving you the ability to invest in real world assets within Web3. What does it mean? Essentially, it means that instead of creating a token that represents an asset, they give you a pool that you can deposit money into. They then withdraw that money and they go purchase assets and hold them so you can realize the gains associated with them. I like to call that doing Web 2 within Web 3. It's not actually bringing those assets into Web 3 because you cannot take those assets and create liquidity pools or lend them out or do anything DeFi cool with them. So I think that maybe the first iteration of tokenization that we're seeing, but I don't think that's going to be the last and final iteration. Think like you were like if you think about the RWAs in the context of value they bring, um, like that previous version with that previous version, the value was like you were getting is like really that you can just access the assets within Web3 without needing to go off chain to invest and diversify. That's excellent. But with the next version of tokenization, where we're actually creating tokenization tokens for these various asset classes, I believe that the value that you're going to see is going to increase manifold because you're going to be able to not take only assets like not only for diversification purposes, but also for the purpose of accessing the very interesting landscape of DeFi. Like you can do so many things in DeFi. Like you can use your assets as collateral. You can create liquidity pools. You can lend them out. You can do so many, yield strategies built around them, which is a cool thing. And also, the other basic benefit of tokenization is their 24/7 accessibility. Like you get the amazing edge, which you don't have that much without tokenization.
Whew. Nice. There's so many different dynamics that go into this, and it's just like an exponential opportunity of availability. That's trustless, and for you to use at your fingertips 24/7. It's like it's almost too good to be true. It's just a matter of figuring out a way to organize it and provide it a way so that it is available and easy for people to use. And so my next question for you guys is about illiquid and liquid assets. In Web 2. Um, and so, what are some of the types of illiquid assets that we see in Web 2 right now? And how does asset tokenization enhance the accessibility of that liquidity that we can't access now? I'm not sure who. I'm not sure either. Polly or Artem. I'm not sure. Polly, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll go first. I think I will give you some examples. So, actually, imagine you want to invest in a luxury apartment complex. Before tokenization, you might need to be a high net worth individual with millions of dollars. Now, with tokenization, you could buy a small portion of the apartment complex represented by a token, make it accessible to a much wider range of investors. So, yeah, there are a lot of liquid assets, and tokenization can really enhance access to the assets, and it's a game changer for the world of finance, because you could cut the Picasso into tiny digital pieces like a digital jigsaw puzzle, and sell each piece on a global marketplace. But that's essentially what asset tokenization does, without cutting that Picasso picture. So it takes these liquid assets like art or real estate or even rare collectibles and break them down into easily tradable digital tokens. So yeah, guys, continue.
I agree. Yeah, Artem, please.
Yeah, thanks, Billy. I fully agree with everything you said. That is actually one of the use cases that we present is a residential complex, pardon me, where you can get a share of it without needing for a big capital. You're able to build your capital and build your investment portfolio starting from minimal amounts of, I would say, $100, $200. You can start investing into real estate. It also, apart from a complex for residents, it could be a data center. It could be a shopping mall. This is why we decided to start with real estate, because with real estate, anything could be possible, whatever you can imagine of in terms of tokenizing, not just the actual asset, but the business that is involved within that asset. It could be, as I said, a data center, and then there is the business running there, but you own shares of that data center, meaning you get income from the business that is running there, which is amazing in my opinion. Plus, as correctly was said, we help to make illiquid assets liquid, where with real estate, when you sell it, takes a week minimum, maximum could take 2, 5, 4 years to sell something. With tokenization, we open up this asset to millions of users, a lot of blockchain enthusiasts and people with money who might have never discovered that asset by themselves. But now it's on Web3, it's on chain, they can see it, and you can sell out a property or an apartment complex within an hour or two as it's being listed. And this is what Web3 kind of brings into it. And tokenization is something that we will see everywhere in future. And Stanton, you correctly said that we will need to be working with the government. I was on one AMA previously some time ago, and there was someone saying that Web3 will go over the government, and this will be like the new way of doing business and politics, which I don't believe in. I believe that in the future we're actually going to be working together, government and Web3, shoulder to shoulder, because to fully utilize the Web3, at least right now, we need the government, and everything needs to be supported by the government. However, I hope for a merge in between the two, Web3 and blockchain and the current government, where we could get to the point where contracts, laws, government contracts could be all done as a smart contract. I mean, that's a bright future, of course, but this is what we are hoping for, at least.
Interesting. Yeah, that would be. Oh, was somebody going to jump up here? Please.
Yeah, I want to quickly add on
Yeah.
a quick comment on the government and blockchain integration. Not sure if you know the country called Georgia, because it's pretty small and not that noticeable, but they have integrated, they have some nice exposure in terms of blockchain. They have integrated blockchain into their tax system, and it's like 100% is there. Not, I wouldn't go as far like saying that the government controls it, but the integration seems to be working pretty nice. Like they track all the taxes and they increase the amount of taxes they collect from people. Like that's another question whether that's good or not, but still they're using blockchain. And another quick comment on tokenization. Why one good angle I really like about it is how tokenization brings additional liquidity to the space to otherwise illiquid assets, like say but they do it sometimes directly, but I really like how indirectly, the indirect part of it, like how they how tokenization brings a very specific class of investors, mostly high check investors, who want to diversify investing in real estate, for example. They mostly don't like buying like single units, like say, or units in one specific area, say in Miami or like in London, whatever. To diversify, they want to buy a basket of liquid of otherwise illiquid assets, like an apartment in Tokyo, another one in Istanbul, or somewhere in Korea, and like one in like I don't know, Poland somewhere. With tokenization, in a way, tokenization makes these otherwise liquid assets, non-fungible assets, more fungible in a way, and like indirectly making them more liquid. That's kind of the angle that I really like about it.
I'll add something to kind of end the question. I think so. Real estate investment trusts, REITs, REITs. These are essentially what we're talking about: fractionalizing larger um, real estate portfolios, where people are buying parts of it. And uh, what blockchain does is it makes this a lot easier. It makes it much more fluid, easier to transact. You don't have to go through a large third party to buy and sell. One thing I do want to mention, just in terms of what the benefits are, it just if we don't talk about the actual tokenization and talk about blockchain and crypto in general, I think the most important thing about what asset tokenization does is it legitimizes crypto, because if we connect real world assets to crypto, it means that we're actually leveraging the technology now, and everything that we're doing for crypto blockchain, everything is being legitimized. The biggest example is just the thing that we use the most, transacting between the real world and crypto, is um, currencies. So USDT, USDC, any of that sort of asset is essentially taking US dollars or whatever other dollars and converting it, locking it somewhere, converting it into crypto, and letting you transact, and then you can move it back into fiat afterwards. Anything that we connect, anything we can do to connect real world assets with crypto makes Web3 closer and more real.
Absolutely. Yeah, it makes it very real. And it's like it's almost like a perfect combination of investment potential. So love how you put that. And so whenever it comes to the process of asset tokenization, not to mention all the different assets that we can, could you guys break down how physical real world assets can be converted into digital tokens on the blockchain? Yeah, Artem.
Yeah, I will give it a shot, since this is what Asset Link is kind of does. Right now, the only way to do it is to work with the government and support it with paperwork, from one side and then smart contracts from the other to kind of get that merge. You could say that this asset is now belongs to the smart contract. I'm trying to simplify things a bit here. You could say that this asset is now represented by these tokens, and then using the paperwork in the real world, if I may, the ownership of that token means that you own a part of that asset in the real world. So you basically connect the two together, and this is what we try to do at Asset Link, is not just have a property, collect the money and buy the property, and then you get the income equivalent to what it is, like you are exposed to the income. What we try to do is actually establish an ownership of an asset via blockchain. That is the goal, because as I said, now it is real estate, but we plan to go further into things like cars, art, and so on. A lot of things that we have in the pipelines right now, but this is what we're trying to do. And the thing is, with every different country is different. As I said, we want to operate worldwide, and what we're experiencing is, which makes sense for every country, it's a different framework. One for Dubai, another one for Portugal, another one from UK. And now, as I said, I'm in North Cyprus. I'm going to be meeting with the clients, and we're yet to explore the jurisdiction to understand exactly how can we do it in order to operate legally within the laws, but also allow for our users to actually have the ownership of the asset and be secured in that sense that if something were to go bad, they actually do own a part of it legally, and they can basically go to the police to say and tell them, hey guys, I actually own this. This is the paperwork, and I am an owner in a way. So I hope that kind of answers the question, but it's a bit complicated if you try to go into the actual like small details of it.
I agree completely with what Artem said. The easy part is listing the asset on the blockchain. The hard part is going to be policing it afterwards. Um, the with real world assets, they're not not all real world assets are easily trackable in terms of what status it's in. So, for example, if we're talking about stocks or fiat pricing, we have already price oracles for all of that stuff that is constantly live, and there's multiple sources of that data. So, we're not going to all of a sudden, unless the entire system breaks down, we're not going to lose those price feeds anytime. But if you have a house or if you have a car, if it gets wrecked, who's tracking this data? Someone needs to track the data. Otherwise, you're not going to know on chain what happened. That's going to be the hard part. And then the legal aspects of it. If someone stole this car or whatever, how do you get it back? And that's going to be the government side. How do you police it? I think that's going to be extremely important. And getting governments to buy in is critical. I think someone mentioned Georgia earlier, another country that's trying to push um, uh, the use of blockchain in the government is Indonesia. So I think there are more and more countries looking at this. They're not just investing in Bitcoin, but they're actually looking at using the technologies internally for their systems.
Nice. Yeah, Georgia is an amazing, country, and they're far ahead than most, especially the U.S. We just recently, I wouldn't say banned CBDCs, but we're going in the right direction of making it, more of a, we did create an act so that we wouldn't allow that kind of behavior for governments to control the sector, and I think as we grow as a space, we'll continue to innovate and make these things more and more accessible and more in control of the community and not the government, and to work together like Georgia is doing. So that's awesome. And so you guys had mentioned the smart contracts and being able to automate all these different things, but the data is really what needs to be on point for the automation to be seamless and correct whenever it takes place. So, in what ways do smart contracts aid in tokenization of real world assets and people benefiting, from like not having to manually do things like they do in Web 2 now? Artem, please.
I actually want to put a quick input regarding Georgia. Georgia is a nice country. I actually got married there with my wife, so I did enjoy the beauty of it, and I didn't actually experience the crypto side of things in it, but it is a very nice country. We're happily got married there, and been married for 6 months now. Not too long, but it still was a very nice experience. Regarding the question that you've answered, so you were saying regarding the data discrepancies in terms of a potential problem with world tokenization. Is that what you were trying to say? Because I just didn't get that. Sorry.
No, you're fine. So my question was, how do smart contracts get introduced into like the whole scenario? And obviously, the data that feeds into these smart contracts is what dictates, how the users are paid out, based off of their ownership and how everything's authenticated and everything. So I was just curious to know, like, what are the interesting aspects that go into real world assets being added into a smart contract to automate the whole process?
Oh, okay. Now I understood the question more. Thank you very much for repeating it for me. So basically, a smart contract would be something that is similar to a real life contract. However, we introduce transparency to it because everyone can go into the smart contract and actually see the terms, the algorithm, and know exactly what's being done. This also where blockchain helps us in terms of data, and we can make sure that the data going in is legitimate because we can double check it with everyone using the blockchain, which allows us to be 100% sure that everything makes sense and everything works perfectly. Like the thing with Bitcoin, you cannot put something into the chain due to the fact that every other person on the chain double checks that info, and you can quickly realize, hey, this transaction is not legitimate. It actually didn't take place, so it gets eliminated. This where the smart contracts help us. It allows for transparency, it allows for security, and it allows for it to be done efficiently every single time. Since it's automated, we exclude the kind of human error in this process because we have the exact inputs and exact outputs of what should be done. So I think that's kind of what it brings to the table.
I'll add on to that as well. Smart contracts. So one of the best things about smart contracts is that it checks to make sure that every party's whatever they're supposed to bring to the table is available. Traditionally, if you had to transact money or large amounts of money for some kind of investment, you might need a lawyer to do escrow. And essentially, what it means is between two parties, you're putting the money on the table so that you can't back out of it at the last minute. Smart contracts automate all of that. So essentially, you don't need to have a third party trusted lawyer to be the middleman anymore. And that saves a ton of money. So that's one thing. And then I think the other thing about smart contracts is that it smart contracts are designed to be smaller in the sense that like you're not supposed to put everything in a smart contract. When we're doing tokenization for buildings or for anything, the thinking is there's a layer for using smart contracts to actually put it on chain. There's another separate smart contract that's focused on just making the investment side of things, like how do you fractionalize, um, and so where I'm going with this is that you can build this to be tailored to exactly what the needs of that specific asset is. You don't have to, it's not a one size fits all. There's going to be a lot of different options for how you want to do it. Because for some properties, you don't want to fractionalize it. You want it to be one entire entity. And it might be that it's not um, put all together because there's different parties managing the kind of transaction in the middle. So, uh, everything needs to be signed off. With real world assets, the hard part is that a lot of things in the middle need to be signed off by real people in the real world, either government or individuals who are policing the asset in a sense. And so uh, there's a lot of work to be done, but I think in the middle, what smart contracts really help with is the trust and security layer, where instead of having people signing off things for you between two parties transacting, it's all done in smart contracts.
A quick comment on the smart contract purposes. What made me think your whole speech made me think about the Odeco protocol. It's basically a Web3 dApp that lets anybody with an Ethereum wallet spin up a real world LLC in Delaware on the Ethereum blockchain, or use an incorporated DAO for their projects, like, and add smart contract bolt-ons from a dApp store. Like, yeah, that's all.
Oh wow, I had no idea you could create an entity in Delaware on the blockchain. That's so you can literally create a company on the Ethereum blockchain.
Yeah, and it's connected through smart contracts. In case anyone wonders, the name of the protocol is Otoco, OTOCO.
Nice, man. I had no idea. Yeah, I knew Delaware was pretty. It's got very good security for companies. One of the many. Wyoming's really good in the U.S. for creating a company. For blockchain. But I didn't know that there was a company actually using blockchain to create the company. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
they work in Wyoming too, by the way.
Got you. All right. Well, just continue to drop bombs, man. Nice. Got it. So with all the different assets, you guys keep on referring to real estate, being able to invest, and potentially do fractionalized ownership, in real estate. I'm not sure if that's what you guys have been referring to whenever it comes to purchasing real estate on the blockchain. But what do you see right now as being the ideal asset for new users to be able to purchase real world assets on the blockchain today? Polly.
Yeah, actually, I think that's kind of asset classes that are well suited for tokenization, and the challenges that they present are actually also interesting. But as for classes, let me explore firstly. So they're kind of very promising thing for intellectual property. Tokenizing intellectual property like patents or copyrights can facilitate licensing and royalty payments, making it easier to monetize creative works. Also, tokenizing commodities like gold or oil can create new markets and make it easier for investors to access and trade these assets. Also, I think securities and stocks, art and collectibles, real estate also. And as for challenges, there's always going to be a challenge with the regulatory uncertainty, valuation and pricing, custody and security, and interoperability and market adoption. But yeah, we can talk a lot of this. But while these challenges exist, the potential benefits of tokenization are really significant. So yeah, guys, continue.
Interesting. Artem.
Yes, I agree with what was said by Polly. For me, I would say real estate is the best asset to get tokenized. Firstly, because I think that this will actually show a lot of people, as we previously mentioned, what crypto can do, and we can legitimize crypto, as I think Stanton said regarding this, is you can actually show people that crypto is real, and we have real world assets, which is real estate. That's the simplest way to actually show people and demonstrate how important, I guess that would be the correct word, crypto is, and how real it is, despite the fact of it just being ones and zeros. So real estate would be the best asset, I would think, to tokenize. And with real estate tokenization, at least how we do it on our platform, it allows for a more diverse tokenization. Instead of it just being a apartment, as I mentioned previously, it could be a data center, it could be a shopping mall, it could be student housing, it could be a university eventually, because we're talking university has to be real estate, it has to be somewhere, unless it's an online university, of course, but the traditional university is located within a building, and you can own that building and technically own a share of the university. So I think real estate is the first step for us, but then all the other assets could also be tokenized and could really benefit everyone and the economy as a whole.
Nice. Stanton, please.
I'm going to take a slightly different angle. I think that financial assets are going to be like actual trackable, like dollar values, are going to be the first to get tokenized, mainly because there's a lot of transactions that happens, like basically all IPOs and everything goes through a bank. A bank needs to figure out how to put everything together. They manage all the contracts. I think all of this is going to move into blockchain or smart contracts where, sorry, the actual transactions, all the recording of everything is going to go into the blockchain. Sorry, I need a cough. But what I was going to say was with real world assets that's financial related, there's already price circles, there's already feeds. It makes it a lot easier to move onto chain. With real world assets like collectibles, cars, real estate, I think, for example, AssetLink's doing the hard part where trying to connect all that together is significantly harder, but it will be significantly more valuable as well in the future.
Yeah, I can. Oh, go ahead.
Coffee beans, of course, coffee beans, bananas, apples, I don't know, corn, whatever marginalized stuff people do tokenize, especially small founders like mid cap projects. They tend to focus on some marginalized asset classes. I don't know why. Maybe that's fun. Maybe some other reasons. But like from what I see, the pre 2021 market presented a clear dichotomy. In a way, at one end, crypto offered returns through yield farming, issuing new tokens, and market speculation. On the other side, we had stable coins like that offered capital preservation, but only at the opportunity cost. Like with RWAs, they now allow the entire spectrum on the risk reward curve from highly conservative bonds. And I do think that financial side is going to be stronger. Financial assets like, I don't know, US treasuries, public credit, private credit, public and private equities, and then like cryptocurrencies, maybe something related directly to crypto on that side. But I do think financial asset class is going to be crucial in the coming years, like maybe 2 3 years, and going to drive the market in a way, specifically treasuries.
Yeah, I can see how financial products will be much easier to get the data and find a good flow of data. So we're not going out and chasing, and trying to authenticate all this data that's coming from Web 2 to Web 3. The financial market's already got that. As long as we trust, the sources behind the financial market that is giving the data to us to participate in Web 3, I think that will be the largest factor, as Stanton, you said, data being the kind of the piece to the entire puzzle. So how can we ensure a smooth integration with tokenizing real world assets and the data that comes from it? Like how do we do that with all these different assets?
A thorough due diligence, bro. Thorough due diligence. Because I think, sorry, that's I crashed it like that. But I think that, well, smooth integration and avoiding data discrepancies is crucial for trust and accuracy. And thorough due diligence is the first step that will help you in this. So the asset history, ownership records, you should check this. So of course there should be an independent verification and standardized data formats, like using standardized data formats for capturing asset details. This ensures consistency, at least, and facilitates interoperability in some kind of way with other systems. And I think that we should work on some reliable data management systems, like of course smart contract integration and regular audits and updates, but maybe another idea is centralized data repository, but maybe I'm wrong. And of course, as much collaborations and partnership we will have, then the bigger will be this industry, because cross-industry collaboration between asset managers, blockchain developers, and regulatory bodies is crucial to develop industry standards and best practices. And of course, we can integrate third-party verification services, like, I don't know, this can provide at least independent assurance of data accuracy and security. So yeah, those are my measures that can create a robust framework for tokenization real-world assets that will ensure somehow data integrity and avoid a discrepancy. So yeah, what do you think, guys? Influx, Horizon?
Yeah, Artem.
Uh,
Yeah, Artem, yeah.
Thanks, Polly. Yeah, one of the things I believe is most importantly is to educate people, because what I've experienced as when I was onboarding investors, I'm still onboarding some investors, partners, people who can tokenize their assets, people who are developing those assets, which is real estate developers. The key thing is educating them, because when you're in the crypto space, you get a feel like everyone knows about crypto, but in reality, we're still a small percentage of the population. Yes, of course, now we have more people on board than we had 4, 3, or even 1 year ago. However, we still don't have enough people educated about crypto to actually understand it. We have a lot of people who still think crypto is a scam. When we were approaching some investors, some of my colleagues, what they told us is they recently got laughed at and said people told them like the crypto scams already died out. What are you guys talking about? Tokenization, blah blah blah. There is a big crucial problem is educating people on what is crypto, what it brings to the table, and why it is such a nice technology and why do we need it. And until we do the education part and the making sure people understand it, we will not be able to build further and build bigger and actually integrate, as we talked, integrating with the government, getting everything tokenized or at least partially tokenized. We cannot do it without educating people on it. And this is the main thing that we, as people who create things in the space, creators, generally crypto enthusiasts, need to do is to educate people. Because all of my friends, they know what is crypto, and I made sure they do. Because we would talk about it. I would tell them, hey, these guys are doing that. We're doing this. You should look into this. Maybe put some money aside and buy some of this. So I think education is the main thing that needs to be done for what we need to do as a space.
Sure. Yeah, the narrative from the beginning all the way till now has been, an idea that it's just a scheme or just digital value that you can purchase and potentially make more money off of it. That's not what it's about. It's about the infrastructure. So Stanton, please.
Yeah, I actually strongly agree with education. That's why Eric is doing collab, um, the collab hub stuff, and then that's also why my position is education director. Um, I want to add one other thing, and it's that all of the transition towards crypto and using smart contracts is going to be about incentives. And so obviously education is a big piece to help people understand what the incentives are to transitioning over. And I think Polly hit the nail on the head in terms of data and security. So if you're putting your money into crypto, you need to make sure that you feel like the risk is worth it. And the risk is only worth it if you feel like the entire process is secure. So building infrastructure where we have the right data feeds, building infrastructure where we have an easy process of securitizing everything, moving it on chain. There's that entire process should feel safe. And until we get to that point, it will be very hard to get large amounts of institutional money to come in. Right now, one of the interesting things that's happening that hasn't happened before is the ETFs, Bitcoin ETFs, Ethereum ETFs. This is bringing in real money, institutional money into crypto, but it's right now focused on cash. So at some point, if we can tokenize things where people feel it's safe to invest into crypto with other assets, that will be really incredibly powerful.
Definitely, yeah, and it just things just take time, and we're in the era everyone keeps on saying we're early, blah blah blah, and all that good stuff. We really are. it's proof of concept right now. There's a lot of companies that are trying new things out, and that's whenever it's brand new. Even though we've been in this financial space for the past over 10 12 years or whatever it's been, we're still very new, trying new things out and making mistakes along the way, and that's exactly how you guys came about. I'm sure is building off of what other people haven't done and trying something new. So, as we get closer to ending the space, I'm really interested to learn, what you guys see in the transition from 10 years ago in crypto. Obviously, that the infrastructure and all the resources and tools and availability was not there. Obviously, completely different world from then until now. But what do you guys see happening in the world of asset tokenization in the next few years, even because this is speeding up quickly? Yeah, Polly.
I hope that's gonna be widespread adoption. More and more asset classes will be tokenized. This is the ideal dream life, moving beyond traditional assets like securities and real estate into areas like intellectual property, art, and even physical goods. Maybe there's gonna be a regulatory clarity. I hope so, because as the benefits of tokenization become clearer, regulatory frameworks will evolve to provide greater clarity. I hope so, and certainty for businesses and investors, because yeah, this can lead to greater confidence and increased adoption. Because we are all waiting for the clarity, guys, in Web3. It's so hard to trust here. So yeah, and actually, I think that it's going to be something beyond finance. Maybe it will extend to other sectors like supply chain management or healthcare or even government services. So challenges still remain, such as maybe even technological hurdles. But however, the potential benefits of asset tokenization are undeniable. Yeah, guys.
Nice. Stanton.
Fully agree with Polly, and I think that from a fundamentals perspective, decentralized immutable smart contracts are incredible. It's just that there's not enough people who know how to use it yet in the real world, and so I think that in the long run, it we will be using a lot of blockchain. It's just a good way to use it. I think there needs to be additional technologies that are more mature. So ZK, zero knowledge proofs are going to be really important because although we want to be able to see everything transparently, you don't want to see all the details. At least a lot of people will not want to see all the details. And so um, there's a few more layers of technology that needs to be built, but it is true that there's a lot of push towards crypto because I think for a lot of um, let's just say the younger generation, people who are not as well established in the traditional market, crypto is it's a light of hope in terms of opportunities. The world economy isn't as kind of great as before, and so there's going to be more interest in this direction, and the more investment and time that's spent on here, and as everyone kind of matures through that process, we'll see more and more people through education understand how to leverage these technologies and then use it in the real world.
Oh, I love that. But basically, democratizing wealth, like we've never seen before. Artem.
I agree with everything that was said by Paulie and Stanton. It is truly what needs to be done. How I see tokenization and the crypto in 5 years is with AssetLink being the leading platform for asset tokenization. The reason I'm saying it is because, as I mentioned previously, we are close to actually going public. We already made a lot of partners worldwide who have real estate to tokenize. We made partners with real estate agencies that are willing to act as a realtors to sell and lease those properties. And we need those partnerships as well, because with those real estate agencies, they are able to actually educate investors and get more people on board, coming back to the education side of things, which I talked about previously. So in 5 years, I believe that AssetLink will be, pardon me, the top platform for asset tokenization. We are already, oh, pardon me again, too much talking today from me. AssetLink is right now among the first companies, if not the first company, or in terms of how far we got with tokenization of real estate. And we have other assets in the pipeline. It's art, cars, and far more that we have prepared. So in 5 years, we will have a lot of things tokenized, not just real estate. I believe that financial assets will also rather quickly will be tokenized because people need that transparency in a way, not the full transparency, but some transparency and ability to quickly move funds and move it quicker than you can do it now even.
Oh, that sounds amazing. Yeah, I'm not sure what it's like to purchase a house, in different parts of the world, but I know in the U.S. it takes a very long time and it's very expensive with all the different closing costs and all the people that have to, deal with the paperwork, and it's just like a very monotonous, expensive process that it shouldn't be. But obviously, why would they want to change? Because they're making so much money off this process with issuing the mortgages and the interest rates, and there's just the list goes on why this system needs to be corrected, and asset tokenization is exactly what's going to do it. So thank you so much, everybody, for coming. You guys were awesome. Thank you so much for all the information. I learned a ton. And if anybody in the audience wants to reach out to us and collaborate, that's what we're here to do. We're here to collaborate and grow together, and obviously build something that's going to change the future. So till next time, everybody, thank you again for coming, and have a great day and evening.
Thanks everyone for being here today. And as I said, have a great day, have a great evening. And if you want to get involved with any of us, just contact us directly. We are changing the future because we are shaping it right now, today. So yeah, get in touch with us if you want. If you want to learn more about what we do, then please feel free to just contact us in any way possible, and we'll be happy to educate you and get you on board.
Amazing. Talk to you later, guys. Bye-bye.
Same here, guys. Bye bye, everyone. Thank you for tuning in and stay curious, guys. And don't forget to drop everyone a follow here to every speaker so we understand you support us. And yeah, I hope you will join for more spaces. Thanks.